Good evening from here in Jerusalem, and good morning or good afternoon to all of our friends and partners joining us from around the world. My name is Sam Robinson, and I'm proud to be here representing the Jewish Agency for Israel and JReady, our platform for crisis management and community resilience. I seem to always begin these webinars with a harsh reminder of where we are in space and time. And as of now, it's been 390 days since the massacre of October 7th. A whole year has come and gone, and somehow we are still embroiled in this horrendous war. There are still 101 hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. There are still tens of thousands of displaced families around the country, and still hundreds of thousands of reservists and volunteers who have literally dropped everything in protection of our country and our people. Unfortunately, at this point, each day we're attending funerals and shivas, houses of families in mourning, and now also the azkarot, the one-year memorials for all of those that we've loved and lost. Yet, you guys are still here with us, and I feel I speak on behalf of all of us that the connection between Israel and between Jewish communities around the world feels stronger and more indelible than ever before. And of course, beyond Jewish communities, we've been moved, and we have immense gratitude to all of Israel's supporters and allies around the world. That essentially means those who are standing up for good and seeking to eradicate evil. All of you guys here with us today are among those people. So we're here today to bring you another webinar, and with some truly powerful speakers who have graciously agreed to share their stories and messages of strength and resilience with us. But first, I once again have the tremendous privilege of introducing you all to Ayelet Nachmias-Verbin, Chair of JReady and the Fund for Victims of Terror at the Jewish Agency for Israel, to share a few words.
Thank you so much, Sam, and thank you for the incredible team of JReady who has been working hard on this webinar and the series of webinars. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us, and especially Irene, Lishay, and Yoav, who unfortunately, following October 7th, I truly feel so close to Irene and Lishay, heroines who have joined us. It is so important for us in JReady not to only speak about the atrocities and the difficulties of October 7th, but also to speak about the heroes. And that's why I asked my very good friend, Yoav Limor, one of the leading journalists of Israel, who has published this incredible book, which I hope, do you see the book? Am I moving? We'll send you a picture on the chat. Do you see it now? No, not good. Sorry, I apologize for that. But anyway, this incredible book that tells the story of the heroes of October 7th, all of them alone against Hamas. I hope that by next year, this book will also be translated to English. But that was the idea behind this webinar, not to speak only about the hardships. I apologize personally. I'm in my car and not at home in front of the computer, because the families of the hostages are out in the streets fighting to bring their loved ones. And I told Lishay, it's an honor for me to be in those traffic jams. I would stand 48 hours if only it would bring Omri and all the other 100 hostages home. But again, in JReady, we are all the time consumed with how do we bring to the Jewish communities around the world, how do we bring the resilience? How do we speak about the strength of this incredible people? I know you feel it in your communities. If you recall, we started speaking in JReady and having webinars on October 12th. That was the first time that we got together, because we knew that this war is literally not only in Israel, in Gaza, and in Lebanon, but also in your communities. And that's why we're here. So today, I truly feel honored that you will hear the stories of Lishay Miran Lavi and the story of Irene Shavit, which is also, it's the story of their heroism, their personal heroism, but also the incredible heroism of their partners, Omri Miran and Netta Epstein, incredible human beings. We lost Netta. We're waiting anxiously to see Omri, as Yoav always corrects me. We're waiting to meet Omri, of course, but the most important thing is to have Omri back with Miran, Ronnie and Alma, and of course his dad, Danny, and his brothers. So thank you so much for joining us in this very, very important webinar. We're always here for you in JReady. You know that. We will continue in this series. I'm sending you hugs from here. And I've got to tell you something. This is truly, truly, truly the resilient nation, not only the startup nation. And I'm sure you'll hear that today from our very, very special guests. So without further ado, Sam,
Thank
please
you,
lead to Yoav.
Ayelet. And
Thank you.
I do want to just echo Ayelet's sentiment. We have Irene and Lishay here, who are two incredibly brave women who themselves are survivors of October 7th in body, but with their souls ripped apart. And we are praying every day that Omri returns. And, you know, we always have Netta in our hearts and our minds. Thank you for being here with us. Before I hand over to Yoav, I just want to mention that there's the Q&A function at the bottom. If anyone should have any questions for our speakers, please feel free to write in the Q&A and we'll try and respond in real time. So Yoav, the floor is yours. Yoav, you need to unmute first.
Yeah, so now you can hear me. Thanks, everybody, and hi from Israel, and thanks for being with us this evening, this Israeli evening, another evening of war. There were sirens going on and off in northern Israel for the past few minutes. We have the privilege of having two incredible women that I can be proud of calling friends of mine, both Lishay and Irene. They were neighbors a year ago. Lishay in Kibbutz Nachal Oz and Irene in Kibbutz Kfar Aza. And they're both trying to rebuild their lives ever since in an impossible situation of which we will try and speak in the next 50 or so minutes that we have together. And as Sam, feel free to send questions, and I'll try to refer to them while speaking to Lishay and Irene. I want to start, Lishay. I know that most important to you is to speak about the current situation and the efforts to bring your Omri back home. But before we go there, if it's okay with you, for a few minutes, to put everyone on the spot, I want to take you back to that Saturday and to you and Omri and your two beautiful daughters, Roni and Alma, in your house, small house in the kibbutz.
Yeah.
And then?
Like everyone in Israel, and especially in our area, at 6:28 in the morning, we heard a lot of alert. In our area, it's called Tzeva Adom, red color, red alert. And we go to our safe room. Roni, she's sleeping over there, and Alma was with us. Roni was 2 years old, and Alma just 6 months old. So we go to the safe room, we close the door, we close the window, and we sit in, and we thought it's okay. It's another situation that we know before, and in a few minutes, maybe hour, we can go from the kibbutz and to a few days, and that's it. This is how it's going to end. I can say that after 10 minutes or 20 minutes, the message from the other friends from the kibbutz, we get a lot of message in the WhatsApp that told us that there is a terrorist inside the kibbutz and help, and somebody can help us, and please, they are in my home. And Omri and me, and at the first, we thought that people get crazy, that people imagine that we have a terrorist inside our kibbutz. And I think just 1 hour after, just in 7:30, we understand that we have a terrorist, but we don't really understand how many them. Just in 9 o'clock, we start to hear a lot of, we start to hear Arabic and shooting around our home. And at 10:30, they get into our home. We sitting in quiet in our safe room. We don't speak. Ronnie was sleeping in this moment, and Alma was in my hands. And honestly, I put my hand on her mouth because I'm afraid that she start to screaming or something like this. And they start to, we hear them inside our home. We hear they start to searching in our home. And they knock on the door and start to scream at us in English and in Arabic that we need to open the door. And in this moment, we still being quiet, but after a few minutes, we hear a voice in Hebrew that told us, "Hi, it's Tomer. I'm the son of Dikla, the neighbor. Please open the door. Please open the door. Because if you don't open the door, they shoot me and they shoot you. So please open the door." And we understand that we need to open the door. When we do it, we saw that we have 5 terrorists inside our home. They took us to our kitchen and we're sitting over there. At the first, we was just Omri, Alma, me, and Tomer. And just after 10 minutes and a lot of begging, they let Tomer to go to bring Ronnie to us also. And after 20 minutes that we were in our kitchen, they took us, all of us, all the family, to another family home, family house near to us. And over there, we're sitting with 10 terrorists that pointed with a gun to our head, to our back, to us, and with the RPG in front of our eyes. And they also film us in live Facebook on this moment, that all the world can see us. After 3 hours, something like this, that we're sitting over there, and of course they speak with us, they ask our questions. They told Omri and the other father of the other family to get up. And then we understand that we are in another situation, and they just take them with them. They put the handcuffs on their hand, and they took Omri and Tzachi Dan, the other father, and we are stay over there. I can say that we don't speak a lot on this time. It was in 1:30 and 1.5 that they kidnapped them. I told Omri just first sentence before he goes. I told him that Omri, I love you. I'm going to wait in you. I'm going to take care of our children, of our daughters, and please don't be a hero. And that's it. This is the last moment that I saw Omri. Me, Ronnie, and Alma stay over there another 4 hours until the army release us. And we go to another home, and after this to another house. And just at the night at 10:30, we go from the kibbutz. We release under fire from Nahal Oz. I just want to add that Tomer, a brave young man that they took with them, we found that after a few days, we found he was killed. They murdered him after a lot of hours that he was with them. And his mother was murdered also. And Noam also, the husband of Dikla, the mother, was murdered, and his half sister, Dafna Indela, was kidnapped to Gaza. And they released in the first and the only deal that we have until now. and we are here. And after 1 year, more than 1 year, we are still here in this situation that Omri not with us and he's still in Gaza.
So we will speak, Lishay, about Omri and the efforts to bring him back home in a second. I want to say just one thing. Some of our friends might ask themselves, how come Omri was kidnapped and you and your kids were not kidnapped? So I will say that the different terrorist groups that penetrated different kibbutzim acted differently. Some of them killed women, some of them didn't, some of them kidnapped women, some of them didn't. So those who arrived in kibbutz Nachal Oz, where Lishay and Omri lived, didn't touch women, didn't take them with them. They did, from another house, there were 2 American women that were taken and released instantly a few days later. But from Kibbutz Kfar Aza, for example, where Irene lived, many more civilians, including women, were kidnapped, and there are still 2 ladies, girls, women from Kibbutz Kfar Aza, Doron Steinbrecher and Emily Damari, both are still in Gaza kidnapped. So, Irene, I take you back to your story, you and your second half, Netta Epstein.
My best friend.
There was an exhibition about Kibbutz Kfar Aza, an unbelievable exhibition. And there was a page written about each and every one of the 64 members of the kibbutz that were killed on October 7th. And about Netta, it was written everything that he loved, and that he loved his parents and his brothers, but more than everything, he loved Irene.
Well, he must, okay? I am the jealous type, so he must love me more than everything.
So take us back, Irene, to that Saturday. You wake up very early in your small room in the kibbutz.
It was like a typical day. It was usual. It's not something new, and the alarm was fine. We told ourselves, okay, in 2, maybe 3 hours, it will be fine, and then we can move on. But like Lishay said, we start hearing Arabic and shooting everywhere and yelling, and we are close to the border, but we never hearing Arabic. So we knew it's something different and we need to do something about it. And then the kibbutz sent us a text that said, lock the door and hide. And it's weird because we never lock the door in the kibbutz. The door is always open. You can go to your neighbor's house. So if the kibbutz tell us to lock the door, it's something big. And 1 hour later, Netta's mother called us and tell us that Netta's grandmother is found dead outside her home. The terrorist shoot her. And it was devastating because she was the most beautiful person I ever met. She was so kind. And we told ourselves that she is dead because she get outside, and this is the reason she died. So if we stay inside, it will be fine. And so we just stay inside. We didn't even speak with each other. It was silence. And 2 hours later, Netta's mother called us again. And we immediately knew someone is dead because otherwise she won't call us. And she told us Ophir Lipstein is found dead, Netta's uncle. And that was also devastating because he was our hero. And if he is dead, there is no hope. But we immediately get up, and Netta's cousin, Nitzan, lived next to us in the young adult neighborhood. in the Kibbutz Kfar Aza, when you're 18, you get apartment. So you can imagine what's going on in the neighborhood, that everyone is 20 years old. It's the most beautiful neighborhood in the kibbutz. It's always parties and happy and laughing because it's the young adult neighborhood. So we wanted to go to Nitzan, Ofir's son, because he can't go his dad that alone. We need to be with him. But Nitzan told us he will be fine and we should never go outside. And that's what we did. We stayed inside and waited. By 11:30, they break our windows in the kitchen, in the living room. And they managed to open the safe room. You can't lock the safe room because it's meant to save you from rockets, not from human being. So if you're inside and rocket hit you, you can be saved. And this is the reason we can't lock the door. And they knew it. They managed to open the door very easily, and they yelled at Hebrew. In Hebrew, they yelled, "Come outside, we know you are in there." You can hear the Arabic accent, but it was Hebrew. And of course, we didn't go outside. And then they throw one grenade that exploded, and we were fine. And they kept yelling and yelling, "We know you're in there, come outside, we know you're in there." And then they throw the second grenade that I got injuries in my legs from the grenade. Netta was fine. And they kept yelling and yelling, "We know you're in there." And the third grenade, they didn't throw it this time, they rolled it to my direction. And my instinct was make myself invisible, like the tiniest I can be and I will be fine. And Netta was the opposite of me. He yelled grenade out loud. And I remember that I look up because why are you yelling grenade? I know there is grenade and the terrorists know there is grenade because they throw it. So why are you yelling grenade? But when I look up, I saw Netta jumping on the grenade. And while he jumped, they shoot him several times in the stomach, and then he lay down on the grenade and the grenade exploded. And I'm in the room looking at him and, okay, fine, get up. Why are you still lying down? Get up and let's do something. And then they throw the fourth grenade that started fire, and I didn't know what to do, because if I get up and put down the fire, or if I get up and try to stop the bleeding and try to save him, they will know I'm here because they are still in the living room. So you just sit and wait for them to leave, and watching and listening. And eventually they left. I remember get up and jumping over Netta and text Netta's dad, telling him he's dead, with 2 words only, he's dead. And say sorry to everyone and I love them, and start to saying goodbye. And then I remember that every time Hamas kill one of us, they take us, because like you can see, we have power. They can do everything if we are in their hands. So I must hide, because they will come back and they will take Netta with them. And then I saw my perfume that based on water. I remember that. So I took my perfume and jumped over Netta again and put down the fire and went under the bed. Netta's body is hiding me. You can't see me. And I was right. Terrorists did come back, but they never saw me. They only saw Netta's body, and they never saw the blue eyes behind them that looking around and see everything. So Netta saved me more than one time. And I believe he saved me Even today, he's watching over me all day long.
If I may add, Irene, you were about to get married. You already had your wedding dress
Yeah,
ready, right?
yeah. I had my white dress in my closet, and one time he like see it like a tiny bit, and he was angry at me. No, I need to see it only on the Wednesday. You are ruining it to me. I said, fine, it's only a dress. But everything was ready, even like a mint candy that says mint to be, my idea. Everything was ready. But I don't know. Life happened.
Lishay, Irene lost Netta, and she has to find a new way to restart her life. But you still have Omri in Gaza, and you have to bring him back for you, for your two daughters, and mainly for him. Unlike other Israeli kidnapped in Gaza, you got a message from Omri a few months ago, so you practically know that he's alive because we saw him speaking. He looks thin, obviously pale, but that as well was quite a few months ago, and it's
Yeah,
quite disturbing.
it was in April. It was in the day 202, and we are in the day 319. So before a lot of days, almost 200.
So tell our friends around the world, we have a question asking if we have any ways, any thoughts of what can be done to get a deal. And Lishay, if you may, if you agree to get us into the day-to-day life of what does it mean to be a wife of a kidnapped Israeli, because your life stopped on October 7 and you work in bringing Omri back home, and it's quite a frustrating job because he's not back home, and it doesn't seem he's going to be back home soon because there is no deal on the table. So if you agree to get our friends inside your life.
Yeah, I can say that from October 7, I understand that I have two parts in my life and two jobs. I'm a wife of Omri that is kidnapped in Gaza, and I'm a mother of two young daughters that their father kidnapped in front of their eyes. And to be a wife of, it's I really don't know in the start. I really don't know what it's mean. But at the time, I understand that it's a lot of parts of this. And I can say that I don't have like a schedule, a regular schedule. Every day can change, and every minute can something can change. I'm due to be a wife of, it's to be a little bit a politician and to be with a lot of meetings around the world and with the government around the world and here in Israel, to do an interview to this webinar. It's not my word normally, and to speak a lot, to be to speak with a lot of people around the world and in Israel, to tell our story, to tell, to beg and to ask to be with us, and to do all that they can to bring them home, all of them, and not just at a slogan. And not just that, I'm a mother also, like I said before. And it's always to think what I do and what I can do, and to be with my daughters also, because their father not here, and they have me, just me right now. So I need to be with them also, and they need to answer really hard questions before because Ronnie, she's now 2 years old and she remember everything that happened, and she asks every time when daddy going to come back and if he's going to come back, and why we can't go to Kibbutz Nahal Oz, and a lot of nights that she's crying and asking for him. And even Alma, that she was, like I say, 6 months old, she now 1 year and a half, and she started to speaking, and she also asked, "Where is daddy?" And to live the life in this situation, and it's to do all of this. And really, I just want my family back and my life back. And I know that it's not really going to happen, because after a lot of days like we have, our life not going to be like before the October 7th. But really to start a new life and to start them already, because we do a lot of things and the days pass, but we still in October 7th. We still at this day, and it's really hard to explain this, but this is my life right now.
I'll refer Lishay in a second to the hostage deal. There were questions regarding that, but Irene, I want to ask you if you agree. Lishay said that she still lives in October 7. It's now 390 October 7 for her today. You as well are still in Kfar Aza in October 7?
In some days, there are some nights that I can go to sleep because I know someone will break in and do something, and like I'm staying up and watching everything. But Netta sacrificed himself, and he died because he wanted me to live, and I'm trying to live my best life and laugh every day and love every day, because otherwise Hamas killed the two of us and Netta died for nothing. So I try not to be there, and telling myself that Netta didn't die for nothing. So you need to not move on, but live the best life you can live. And it's hard because there is days that I forget and I don't remember Netta, and those days are the saddest day, because I'm telling myself, how dare you? How dare you to forget even in 1 second? But you can't remember everything all the time. So I'm doing my best. Talking about Netta everywhere I can, and giving tours in Kfar Aza, and trying to make his dream come true. So there's days that I'm sad and happy.
And I will add that Irene agrees sometimes to visit communities around the world. So I know that we have here over 100 friends of us, participants in this webinar. And if any of you want to host her, so please feel free to invite her, and she might accept the invitation.
I might.
Lishay, I want to know, if there is one thing that captured you in my heart, was our first interview. When I interviewed you in my TV show, it was maybe a week or two into the war, into the kidnap. And by the end of the interview, you said that Roni, your elder daughter, she's 3, but it's all relative, or she was 3 at the time, goes to sleep every night, looks at the sky, and says, Laila Tov Abba. Good night, Daddy.
Yeah, and she's still 1 year after, and she still do it. It's I always tell the story and frame this because Ronnie really love the book Good Night Moon on in Kibbutz Nachalos where we live over there. Or Omri or me after we told her the story, we go outside and we really say good night to the world, and not just in the book. We go say good night to the trees and to the flowers and to the sky and the stars and the moon. And after this, she's going to sleep. And I think 1 week after, Ronnie at the first thought told us to everyone that daddies go to a treatment because Omri is a shiatsu healer. So in her head, he's go to do a treatment, and after 2 days he go to a trip because 2 days. So he's going to a trip, and after I think 5 or 6 days, she told us that their daddy got lost. And I told her, yes, Daddy got lost, and we can speak with him if you want. He's not here, but maybe he can hear you. And when we go outside in this night, she told me that she wants to say goodnight to Daddy. And we start with this, that she say goodnight to the moon, to the sky, to the stars, and good night, Daddy. We are missing you. We are waiting for you, and we all love you. And after a few days, after a month, something like this, she understand that they did not got lost, and she started to remember what happened really in October 7th, and she started to speak about the people that get inside our home and took Daddy, the not nice people. This is how she called them. And then there is a moment that she asked if Daddy hear her because he's not here and he's in Gaza, because I told her that Daddy in Gaza. But she continued to say to him good night. There is a night that she told me that Daddy don't hear her, but I told her that Daddy feel her like she feel him inside her heart. And it's really hard every night. It's all me, if I over there, or my mother, that she speak with him. She told him what's happened in this day and what she wants to do with him when he's come back. Sometimes it's outside, and sometimes it's in her bed to a poster, to a picture. Because like this she can see him because there is a picture, so she can talk with the picture, not just to the world. And yes, it's hard, and I can say, Yoav, that Alma start to do it also because she's so Ronnie right now. Alma not really know Omri because he's not here 1 year, and she's just 1.5 years, but she knows that she had a dad, and she knows he's called Omri. She said also Daddy Omri, and she started to say with Ronnie good night to Daddy also.
I want to touch. We don't have much time left, and if any of our friends want to ask questions, so that's the time for both of you, Irene and Lishay. I will just turn them on to you. But I want to say a few words about the situation with the hostages and the war in Gaza, and then I'll ask you, Lishay, what you think should be done and how our friends can assist from overseas. The situation is as such. There is no active negotiations for quite a few months. There were talks in the past few days, both in Cairo and in Doha, Qatar. There are deals that apparently were thrown at the table, both by the Qataris and the Egyptians, but none of them were taken up till now seriously by both sides, the Israeli and the Hamas side. And there are no actual negotiations currently going on between the sides. So as an analyst, an Israeli defense analyst, I can't see a deal within the next few days. I hope I'm wrong. Later on, the current deal that was spoken will bring back home the female hostages first, in return of a partial ceasefire, and in return of the release of a few Palestinian hostages, including murderers. And then the sides will resume conversation, the dialogue, to go for a complete deal, which will bring back home all hostages, including the dead ones. Half of them, Israel estimates that half of the hostages are alive and the other half are not. Which means, Lishay, and I'm sorry to say it openly, that unless there is a miracle, it will take time until you see Omri. And I ask you what can and should be done to change that time frame, because we see what's going on in Gaza, and time for Omri and for the other hostages alive is crucial, because they might get killed by Hamas. We saw them doing so. They might get killed by the Israeli army accidentally. We saw that happening. And they might die
Just time.
out of hunger, sickness, or everything. So every day they're at a risk of death. So what should be done?
It's a good question, and it's a hard question, because I don't know. I really don't know. Everyone that asks us, the families, what we need to do, I don't really have one answer or a good answer, that because I don't find the way that it's going to happen, that we can bring them. I'm always say that we don't do enough. This is for sure, not here in Israel and not around the world. There is over there 101 citizens that's still over there for more than a year, and there is a lot of citizens of not just Israel. There are citizens of another countries, and all of us that we here with us also. We thought that we are the citizens of the free world. This is how we called our countries. So what's going on? They are still over there, so we don't do enough. Our governments around the world, not just here in Israel also, I always say it, but around the world don't do enough because they are not here. So if you have any contact with your government in your cities and in US, of course, and to tell this, to speak about it. All of you, I'm sure that in the media, so it's really important to remember every day and to tell about the hostages every day, because we can't remember, we can't forget them. They are still over there. Tell our story. You meet me today, so please tell my story or another story of another hostage to 3 people tomorrow. And if everyone is going to do it, so everyone know this story and everyone talk about it, this is the most important thing, to speak about it all the time. And of course, remember what's happened in October 7 in Israel, and remember our sufferers and what they suffer over there. I always say we are the families. We live in a nightmare for a lot of days, but the 101, they are not in a nightmare, and they are really in hell. And think about you and about and if one of your families was over there, and what you want to do, what you want people going to do if you are in this situation, and just doing. This is what I can say, and there is a lot of stuff around the world, and I know in US also, every Sunday. So go over there, be with the family around you, because there is a lot of families also in your countries right now, and be with them and speak of behalf of the people that can speak right now. Be our voice around the world.
So, Lishay, we have two questions regarding the International Red Cross, one of them coming from Switzerland, the homeland of the International Red Cross. I will say that I have very little expectations of the Red Cross and others. They have high demands of Israel and very low demands of our enemies. It was a situation in Lebanon when Hezbollah held in the past Israeli hostages, and that's the situation in Gaza. At the end of the day, I much prefer being a part of a democracy, whereas we treat our enemies as human beings, unlike our enemies who treat our civilians as bad. I wish the Red Cross would have done more. I wish the governments would have pushed Hamas to at least give us a list of who's alive and who's dead and what's the situation, and to transfer treatment, medical treatment, to those who need it. But we deal with a very, very evil, crucial, bad terror organization who use exactly that in order to put pressure on us and all of our hostages and our families, as you hear, Lishay. They pay a very heavy price. And I will say that I think that that's the point where you come into action, putting pressure on your governments, putting pressure on your public opinion leaders in the media, in the social media. That's what we can do. That's what we should do. That's how we can assist bringing back Omri as soon as possible. That's how we can keep on telling Netta and Irene's story, because that story should be told, because in a bizarre and twisted way, the world looks currently at Israel as the villain and on the Palestinians, on Hamas, as the heroes, whereas Israel was brutally attacked on October 7, 1,200 Israelis were brutally murdered, raped, kidnapped, etc., etc. So the world has practically reversed or turned the situation and the story, and we should tell it correctly. The story was we were attacked, and we went to defend ourselves. And we fight in Gaza and in Lebanon because we have to defend ourselves, because if we won't, not only we in Israel won't be able to live, but you, as Jewish people around the world, that we are your homeland, your base, your front base, you won't be able to live the same as well. So it's not an Israeli fight. It's not Irene and Lishay's fight. It's all of our war. We all fight the same war, and we must win it, because otherwise Hamas or Hezbollah or Iran will defeat us here and move to Europe or to the US or other world elsewhere. So it's a global war, and we're all on the same side. So before we conclude, Irene and Lishay, final words from you. Irene?
Just be with us and fight for the hostage, because I could be one of them, and I won't be released because I'm a female, and I'm proud to say I was an officer in intelligence, and I won't be released because I'm not under 18 or I don't know. So it's insane, and we need to bring everyone home. And I hope you can be with us in this fight, because this is the real fight. And we need to fight for them.
Lishay.
That's it.
Think, like I said before, and like Irene said right now, I can add that we are fighting for how the world's going to be after, how our country, how Israel, it's going to be. Because if they going to stay over there and we are don't know how many years, like I say before, we can go back to October 6th, because my life is changed, and there is no option that it's going to be happen. But if we want to be a real free world and a country that love a life, and a world that can be really a good place, and to live in security here in all the world, we need them back, and we need you to be with us. Like we say before, we really need you from all over the world to be with us and to speak behalf of our lovers and tell our story, and remember every day that we have 101 hostages over there, and we can continue our life until they're back here.
So
That's it.
I wanted, before I thank you both, you're incredible, and we have so many of our friends writing that. I see the messages, and Jill Matlin and Randy Weiss writing such beautiful words about you. And they write it from overseas, and I can tell you, I know both these ladies for quite a few months, and they're unbelievable. They're true heroines. And when I wrote that book of heroes, I decided to pick up 80 stories. But I write in the intro that everyone who was in that area that morning is a hero. It doesn't matter if he's a civilian or a soldier. Everyone who was there, thanks Ayelet for showing the book, everyone who was there is a hero. And it doesn't matter if he fought or was just in the shelter hiding, they're all heroes. And the fact that we had the chance of speaking to these both incredible, strong, brave, beautiful women, to Lishay and Irene, is both heartbreaking but full of resilience at the same time, over and over again. And I really want to thank you not only for participating and bringing your stories, and I know it's hard over and over again, but I want to tell you, I want to thank you as an Israeli, as a Jew, of being on the right side. And we always stay on the right side. So thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being with us. Thank you. Sam, Ayelet.
Just want to add, I mean, Yoav summed it up beautifully, but I want to tell you something. We have been listening to you for over a year now, and every time I hear your story, I think it's unbelievable. And you're giving us strength. It's not fair. It's not fair that we should ask you to give us strength, but I think it's very, very important, especially for us in JReady and what we do. And the people who have joined us today are, no surprise, they wrote all these beautiful things about you, but it's really true. And again, I apologize that you're a source of strength, power, and hope. And I love you very much. I wish I could hug you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayelet, and thank you so much. I know Yoav had to go and broadcast, but in his absence now, I want to thank him so much for leading this webinar and the conversation. And of course, Lishay, Irene, I kind of feel completely lost for words, which is very rare for me, but I'm just in absolute awe of both of you, of everything you've been through, and the fact that you're able to give strength to other people during this time is just remarkable. So thank you. Friends, everyone who's here watching with us, if you would like to hear more from Yoav, from Lishay, from Irene, even bring them to your communities, please do reach out to us at jready@jaffe.org, or any other channels, social media, or through our website. Yoav's book will also be available, as Ayelet said, for purchase and distribution in English, hopefully in the coming months. It's available in Hebrew, so if you want access to the book as well, you can feel free to contact us, reach out, and we can direct you in that respect. So meanwhile, friends, thanks again for being with us this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are. And your strength and your resilience means so much to us, your support. We're all in this together. And please stay safe, please stay united. And as we keep on saying, together we will prevail. Am Yisrael Chai.